Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm coming at you with another handstand video, and today this is a video that I've wanted to make for a long time. I've put it off a couple times, but I finally made it, guys, and it is my journey to a one-arm handstand. Now, it is an advanced handstand skill that I have been trying to get for, let's see, I've been trying to get this skill for like 6 or 7 years, and when I say get this skill, I mean like being able to hold it for a solid sort of like 10-15 seconds, and I've gotten there. I can now hold my one arms. I didn't even realize that I'd gotten to this stage, but I have, and it's pretty freaking awesome. So I'm going to take you guys through the journey to me getting the one arm, and I'm going to explain a lot of stuff that I've learned along the way as well. If you're interested in more advanced handstand videos like this, let me know down in the comments so I know to make some more for my more advanced inversion and handstand people out there. I'm going to pass you over to voiceover Ellen and enjoy. So to start off with, if you've watched some of my other videos, you'll know that I have done gymnastics in the past. So yeah, I'm going to kind of just like skip over that. Mostly I just kind of like built a lot of like upper body strength, and I learnt how to handstand there pretty much. And then after that, when I was doing youth circus in 2013, this was when I like started to play around more with handstands, and I was consistently going to classes, and I started to learn a lot more about handstands and awareness of my body, and I started playing around with like more shapes as well. I did start playing around with one arms. As you can see, they are very dodgy. I didn't really know much about the proper technique, and nor was anyone teaching me back when I first started playing around with them. So after about 6 years at youth circus, I then went to NICA, and at NICA I started to gain a lot more strength and like greater control in skills. It was also here that I started to learn like the different components to one arms, and that there's like different techniques or different like cues to one arm basically. So in NICA we would have an hour a day for basics, and I think that changed and that switched between tumbling and handstands, so I went to training handstands quite often. And when I was at NICA, I started to learn from different coaches the different cues or techniques that you can do to get into a one arm. As you can see here, one of the coaches is spotting me and helping me with my one arms. In second year. In first year, I just kind of like gained awareness and general knowledge about one arms and started to gain a bit of strength in them. So in second year, I started to see a bit more of control, and I started to gain a lot more strength as well in my one arm shape. I was still doing a lot of like one arm attempts. I would occasionally do like fingertips, but not very often. I did eventually start to work out my handstand technique or handstand cues that worked for me, and I eventually figured out that I had been pushing my shoulder out too far to the side, and I was able to start to get more on top of my shoulder. You can also see that I try to move my shoulder less far over, which really helps for me to stay on top of myself. You can also see that I start actually training fingertips, which was a really important aspect of gaining strength that I hadn't realized yet. I also started actually training some other one-arm drills because I'd just been attempting one-arm shapes and holds. So 2018, this was my final year at NICA. I really started to see a lot of progress. I started dating my current boyfriend then, and he's a hand balancer as well, and so he started to give me a lot of really important handstand tips, and so I was able to start progressing a lot faster than I had been in the past. I was also getting really into handstands all throughout NICA. Whenever I would go home and I was on holidays, I would also practice them, as you can see. And I really started to gain a lot more strength in the one arms, and I started doing a lot of fingertip training, which was what my training was missing. Okay, 2019, my first year out of graduating from NICA. Now, I started performing in 2019, and so I would go through periods of time where I was performing and doing less training, and then periods of time where I was doing lots of training and wasn't performing. So my progress kind of stalled and was a bit of like a roller coaster, or the 3 steps forward and 2 steps back kind of metaphor. I kept on training and doing lots of really good drills, and it just kind of gained a lot of strength and awareness over the one arm shape. I also started getting some pretty decent holds about now, like I was starting to get like over a couple seconds, which was really exciting. These kind of holds though were pretty inconsistent. I would more likely get a couple seconds of a hold. So as you can see in this video, I also started doing a bit of floor one arm training, which was really good for me to start doing. You can also see through this period here that my one arms were a little bit dodgy. This, I think, was after I'd come back from performing somewhere, and so I was kind of starting from like a couple steps back and trying to build back a little bit of my strength and that progress. Alright, and that brings me to 2020. 2020 started off with a bang. I had a great start of the year performing and traveling before, you know, good old Rona hit, and then I spent 3 months at home. So 2020, when I did start to actually train, I was building back a lot of strength and progress that I had lost. But the great thing was I was at home and I was able to start consistently training. So I started to improve and gain back a lot of that progress that I had lost. Quite quickly, you can see that I was able to start holding for a couple seconds again, which was really exciting. I started attempting a lot more one arm free holds again, which was really good because it meant that I was able to start working on that balance without the fingertips. As you can see, also my shape and my holds started to make a bit more progress as well, which was really exciting. So my boyfriend then started working for Infamous, and so I went and joined him for a bit because I didn't have any work, and so he started giving me lots more drills and tips and helping me with my technique to really try and improve and make a lot more faster progress. Alright, 2021. I was back in Melbourne at the start of the year, and I was able to train a little bit consistently, but kind of also took a step back on my training because I was performing so much. So it was probably about like the first 4 months of 2021 before I went back to Infamous to see Ian, and before I was properly training consistently again. Like, I had been doing a bit of training during the performing months of the year, but it just kind of took it kind of went on the back burner of my priorities. So when I did end up going back to Infamous, I was able to start training consistently, and I really started to see some progress because I spent a good chunk of the year just doing the bulk of endurance training, so much fingertip work and just kind of focusing on finding the balance and attempting some one-arm holds, and I made a lot of progress. I started hitting some great new PBs, which I was super excited about. This kind of brings me to 2022. I've started to hit some new PBs once again, and just slowly changing up my program and always adjusting it to make sure that I keep on improving. I hope you guys enjoyed that video on my progress and getting my one arm. It has been a long journey in the making, but I feel like I've gotten there. I'm still going to continue to improve on it. Maybe I'll make a follow-up video on my journey to getting more one arm shapes and a longer hold. So hit that notification bell if you want to be notified for whenever I release that video, and for more handstand content just like this one. And with that, if you did like this video, please give a like because it really supports my channel, and I will see you guys next time. Bye!